Hello, everyone. How's it going? Prof Sales here with your recap video for August. Let's see where we're at with this challenge. Let me see how my sound is. Should be coming on live here in just a moment. Hope you guys are having a good Thursday. September 1st, first day of September. Fall's on the way, right? Can't wait. Let's see how you guys are having a good. Yep, sounds pretty good. All right, so we are live and running. All right, everybody. So it's Thursday, September 1st. It's the end of 1 month, August, and the beginning of a new one. Hope you guys are ready for the new one. It's back to school time. It's almost fourth quarter time. It's pretty close to that. So if you've got stuff to list, if you've got stuff you've been meaning to source, now is the time to do it, right? This is the time of the year when you can list a bag of cat crap on eBay and probably sell it. All right, well, maybe not that bad, but you can list something pretty bad. So as you can see, Karen is behind me, and we're glad to have her back. And she is over there photographing jeans as we speak. She got back in town yesterday, and we went out sourcing today. It was a lot of fun. How many stores do we have? Just 3, right? 4, 3, 4, 5?
30.
No, we had more than that. We just didn't get something at all of them, right? GW, Nordstrom, Ross,
Burlington.
Yeah, we had 4 stores, nothing big. We had some other errands we had to run today, tidy up some personal business. But stores, we spent kind of a lot of money.
Wasn't that the goal?
But didn't get a lot of jeans. So go figure that, right? Actually, we spent, I just looked it up, we spent $237. We spent just a little bit over $300, but only bought about 22, 23 pair. So we spent a lot. And that's mainly because we went to Nordstrom Rack, and we bought quite a few pair of jeans that were on, they were marked down, but they were still expensive. I have 4 pair of Rock Revivals alone that were all $40 a piece. So, but they should sell for $100, $115. So we're excited about that. It should be a good profit day. I mean, sell for good profit. Probably I don't know, 200, more than that. Probably make a $300 profit day. Bring us. So not worried about it, but we did spend a good little bit of money, more than I thought we would. The Nordstrom Rack near us does this. Sometimes they'll just go and they'll just slash a whole bunch of Rock Revivals on sale. And you got to really watch your fit and your sizing, because not all of them are as good as other ones, but I think these will do well. So we got 6 people watching so far, so thanks guys for coming on. I know it's a little bit later in the day, but it's just what our schedule permitted today. Morgan has a question, says, I always have a tough time with inseams for men and women's jeans. Some from bottom of zipper, some from the crotch. So confusing. Yeah, that's a great question, or a great point, Morgan, and it is kind of confusing. I used to be of the thinking that you would normally just go down to, or you'd go up to just where like the bottom of the crotch seam is. But I've since moderated that. Now I kind of think if you go sort of in between where the bottom of the zipper is, where it ends the seam, and the crotch seam ends, sort of in the middle there, usually that's pretty darn close. But if nothing else, just take a picture with a measurement there and let people decide. And, it's going to be pretty close, but you're right. It's like it is confusing. Some brands do it one way. Some brands do it a different. They all seem, and a lot of times they don't necessarily match up to what the tag says, which even makes it even more confusing. I don't know what to tell you on that. It's just one of the confusing things about selling jeans, honestly. And I don't know there's an answer that you could use 100% of the time to solve it. So anyway, Tasty's in the room. Urban Garage, what's up, guys? King Flip is in the room. 8 people. Hope you guys are doing well. How was your August, everyone? How did you finish up? Did you finish as well as you expected? Were you below what you thought you would be at? Was it about where you thought you'd be at? I will share some of mine. My eBay results were a lot better than I thought they would be for August, but Amazon fell off a good bit, mainly because I just wasn't sending stuff in. I mean, it's really that simple. The number of listings I have dropped on Amazon. On eBay, they increased, obviously, about 10% from the month before, which is good, but nowhere near what I want to have for this month. And my overall sales were actually less than they were for July, but my profit was higher by a good bit. You know, take from that what you want. I mean, the name of the game is really profit, but obviously the more sales you make, the more actual profit dollars you're going to make. You may not make as good a percentage, but it was a good month overall. I mean, Heather says, hey, Prof, this was a reset month, reorganize inventory. Yeah, it kind of was that for me too. And if you're going to pick a reset month, as Heather says, August is a good one because you're not totally into the back to school, but you're just starting to get in the fourth quarter, which is right around the corner. And that way you can, have some great, systems in place and organization for the upcoming holiday season. If you're a holiday seasonal seller, that's a good thing about being a jean seller. I don't think it really matters that much about, whether it's jeans or not. They sell year round. All right, so 11 people in the room. Hey guys, what's up to everyone else? Most people said hi in the chat, but for those you haven't, hello, how are you? What else? So this coming week will be our first week working together. And as I mentioned, our goal is going to be basically to list 30 listings a day of jeans, which is quite a lot. That's more than we've been doing. Karen says, Is that what you just said?
I giggled.
She giggled. So, we're going to have to figure out what that's going to look like. And we've been talking about that today. And just really going after these listing totals. If we hit the totals we think we'll hit, we will do triple the listings that we did in August. So that's a big increase to do, three listings for every one that you were doing. I mean, that's a big change. It's going to require a lot of focus, a lot of dedication, really thinking about when to source, when to list, all this good stuff. But that's our goal for September, is to list just 30 items a day, at least Monday through Friday. I don't know if we'll hit that number on the weekend, but we'll see. King Flip says, you're going to kill 30 a day when you get your process together. I can do about 15 an hour. Yeah, I can't do 15 an hour from start to finish. And by that, I mean the pictures, and the listing. I can't do quite that many. That's pretty fast. But if one of us is doing pictures and the other is doing listing, or vice versa, or both of us could be doing pictures or both of us doing listing, and you got to go source too. I mean, because you're going to run out. You're going to run out pretty quickly. You got to factor in that time. We'll probably have to factor in at least one day a week to source, and probably just source the whole day. So we'll see how that goes. But that's kind of our goals for September. It's going to be a work in progress. I don't know how it'll work out. We'll see. Vino Wow says, thanks for your vids. I like your perspective. You are welcome, Vino. Sir or madam, not sure which you are. Mike says, I bet you two can do 40 plus a day with two people, even with sourcing. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Mike. We should. And eventually you're going to have to do more than that. But the challenge right now is we don't have an easy way for us both to do photos at the same time. And I still need to teach Karen the listing process, so that if we need to list, we could do listing too at the same time. I think being able to both work on something at the same time is good, because you get a little burnout on it. I mean, imagine if you had to just list 8 hours a day. I mean, it would get a little bit of you could get into some burnout pretty quickly there. It's nice to break it up, do something different. So we want to do that. We want to split it up. We want to be able to split up and have the ability to where one of us can list, one of us can photograph, or both can photograph, or both can list. So we're just going to have to make that happen. And we got some ideas about that. One thing I thought about too, guys, and maybe you guys thought about this, is I'm thinking about getting a desk I can stand up at. And the reason I say that is because it gets tiring sitting down. It gets tiring when you sit down for all these hours a day, and you know, it's kind of hard on you sitting that long. It's not really good for you. So I'm thinking about getting a desk where I can stand up. We'll see. King says, how many hours a day do you list now? I don't think it's that many, King. Probably all told, I think it probably averages out to maybe 1.5, maybe 2, because I'm doing kind of the whole process sometimes, and other things in the business and other things in the house and so on. So with both of us here, we can kind of share the workload, and that should, you know, kind of increase our productivity. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't know, but we definitely can increase our effort for sure. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see what it gets us. I think 30 days is doable, maybe even 40, like Mike said, especially if we're both on it. I mean, we should just kill it. So anyway, all right. So I figured I would share. So without further ado, I will give you a recap. Hang on just one second. Let's see. All right, guys. So yesterday was the 31st. You can see I had 4 yesterday for 96. Net per gene 961. So not too bad, but you know, not quite at that 10 mark either. Today we've already spent 324 on 22 pair. Oh, and just 3 stores, and so on. So we'll see how that goes. And let me show you what I did for. I'm going to stop for a second so I can show you how August turned out. Let me go back in. Okay, so here's August. We averaged 597. There's the 133 spent totals. Photos and listings were actually ahead of photos by about almost 40. Stores, only 12, so we'll definitely be increasing that over the next few months. I think that's going to end up being more like 30, or maybe 40. Gross, there's the gross 32. Costs are here. Let me increase this so we can see that. Oh, it's div by 0. Net 1329 on 134 sold. So that's a 40 or a 3264 sold. 41% margin, which is pretty good. I mean, I think in the reselling game, that's a pretty good number, 41 in general. I mean, you definitely can do higher than that on thrifted items and so on that you find for really, really cheap. But getting them in bulk and being able to get that number is going to be tough. You know, not impossible, but harder. Net per gene 992, so pretty close to that $10 I thought I could get to. Sell through 22%. I think that's going to increase by maybe almost another 10%. We'll see. And then you see our totals for the month, or year to date, or challenge to date at least, the gross and net and all that good stuff. So anyway, all right, let me stop that and go back. All right, so that's pretty much it for the month of August. So basically for August, you know, it was a good month, but it wasn't really a gene selling weather month. As we've talked about, September is probably going to be more gene selling weather, especially near the latter part of it. We'll see. Hopefully the heat will break a little bit. Urban says spent 324 on 22 pair of jeans. You buying new? Yes, they were all new, Urban. No, what? Let me back up. Nine of them were new, and they were all like new with tags, not premium. Well, some of them were more premium brands. The Rock Revivals are definitely a little bit higher end. Let's see. We got some other off-brand ones they were not as much, but. And then the rest of the jeans were just regular use for basically $5. So that's just kind of the way we source today. We usually don't find that much at Nordstrom Rack, but today they just had a nice selection. And they will do that. They'll go in and just price down a whole group of jeans. Sometimes you can get True Religion's priced down pretty low enough that you can flip them for good money. Because a lot of these jeans like Rock Revival and True Religion, you can sometimes get $100 for them when they're new with tags or more. And you just have to see which one it is. King says, have you noticed how cheap new clothes are getting? Seems to almost force us to start looking at the much higher end brands. Yeah, I mean, new clothes are cheap, but you can still focus on the cheaper brands. You're just gonna have to accept a lower dollar amount, and you're gonna have to get them for cheaper. You can also remember that there's still a big chunk of the buying public who likes premium brands, and they're just gonna buy those. I mean, one of the things that can kill you, I think, in business is you always try to satisfy everyone. And you can't do that. You can't satisfy all the masses. You can't satisfy the majority of people out there. You can't satisfy the majority of buyers. But you don't need to do that. You just need to find small groups that you can meet their needs, and you'll be really successful. Not everybody's going to like your product. Not everybody's going to like the way you list. Not everybody's going to like your photographs. Not everybody's going to like the brands you buy. They're not going to like the price you charge. They're not going to like the shipping terms. But you can't worry about those people. So I don't know. I think that's important to remember, right? I had somebody yesterday who left a couple comments after yesterday's video, and the gist of the comments was that, we just want to see you selling items on this channel. And I don't know if this person, I didn't recognize their name from before. I don't know if they really watched this channel much before, but I don't think this channel is about me sitting here selling items. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of haul videos. I don't do a lot of look what this sold for videos. If that person was coming here looking for that, they're always going to be disappointed. That's just not me. It's not who I am. I mean, I don't know what they expect. But if that's what they expect, they're going to be disappointed, and they should probably watch another channel. And I have no problem saying that. This channel is not for everybody, just like, Ronnie's channel is not for everybody, and Chad's is not for everybody, and Rakin's is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. That's fine. It's not a bad thing. It's just we all have different approaches to this. So I don't know. The person got a little negative and a little snarky, so I just deleted the comments. I guess that makes me thin-skinned, but I just looked at it like it was negative. There was no reason to go there. And they could have made a suggestion. They could have even messaged me privately, which people have with suggestions, and I've taken to heart. But they didn't do that. They wanted to make a scene, I guess, and I don't know. I just don't have any time for that. But anyway, ain't nobody got time for that. That's what Karin said. Vino says, are there any jean brands you stay away from, even though they are considered high-end or premium when they were new? That's a great question. Trying to think if I do. Let me think. Oh, wow. That was weird. I must have hit the mute. Sorry. I was going to say, let me go back and say, to answer the question, that maybe True Religion women's jeans would be the one brand I would stay away from if you don't really know what you're doing. And the only reason I say is because they get counterfeited a decent amount and they don't really sell for as much as the men's anyway. So be careful with those. But other than that, no, anything new I would do. Should be back. Hopefully I'm back. So I think that was the operator belt, guys. I hit the wrong button. Let's see. Okay, Mike said, let's see. Yeah, it's back. Okay, Mike said maybe because, what did you say, Mike? Miss Me's and True Religion is getting cheaper and cheaper, getting really saturated. That could be. I mean, it could be the time of year too. I don't know. I just think with some of these brands, there's always going to be a niche upper market. And you just got to keep your eye. I mean, this goes back to mindset. The market is not going to stay the way it is forever. It's going to change. It's going to evolve. It's going to become something totally different. Now, there may always be a market for jeans, or at least in the foreseeable future, but which jeans and what amount and what sizes and what price and, I'll give you an advantage. I'll give you an example. Say you were selling jeans here in America and there were women's jeans. Size 12 is around about the average women's size. So you would definitely see an uptick in 12s, 14s, 16s even. But say you were selling jeans in a country like China or maybe India that doesn't have the obesity issues that we have in the United States. And I'm not saying a woman who's a 12 or 14 is obese. I'm just saying that you're not going to sell as many bigger sizes in that market, all things being equal, because there's not as much demand. If there's not as much demand, there's not going to be as much reason to sell it or for as much. If, health kicks are always big, but if that becomes more prevalent, the United States starts becoming a less larger size country, then sizing may go down in terms of what will sell. I just called Pittsburgh Mike fat. Yeah, you are fat, Mike. I've seen you. But anyway, Mike, you wear a size 12? That's a little odd there, buddy. You're wearing women's jeans these days? But yeah, I mean, markets are going to change and you have to adapt. So if it gets saturated with Miss Me or True Religion or whatever brands, move out of those brands. Move out of those brands or just wait. And just wait till it comes back to what it was, and it might not, but down. I mean, that's just the way business changes. I mean, who was it? Somebody said, the horse and buggy makers didn't think cars would last and they didn't evolve and they went bye-bye. That's just the way it works. So Mike says when he wears women's, he's wearing booty shorts. We don't need to see that mentally or in reality, Mike. So thanks for that. I saw a couple 7 for All Mankind's at clearance rack for $54. They were still too much, so I left alone. Yeah, that's too much for 7 for Mankind, even new. That's too much, Blue. I wouldn't pay that much for them. You're not going to get a lot of profit out of them. Darren says, I order my jeans online. I'm 6'8". Walmart doesn't like my size. Yeah, that's true. If you're 6'8", I mean, what's the inseam you got there, Darren? Like 38, probably something like that. I mean, that's how many jeans do you ever see? I'm not sure I've ever seen a pair of jeans with a 38-inch inseam, but I know they exist. I guess it depends on how you're shaped, but yeah, just always be ready to evolve and change as the markets change. It's just part of being a business. 36. Okay, that's a long inseam. I have seen a 36-inch inseam, but not a 38. But 6'8", yeah. Well, maybe you're still growing, Darren. There's hope for you to get up to that 38. We'll see. All right. So anyway, any other questions, guys? 19 people watching. Thank you very much for that. I know it's later in the day, so it's a little tougher for people to get on. But what are your September goals? What are you planning to do this month? I'm not talking about your sales numbers. I'm talking about what are you going to do differently? What are you going to continue? What are you going to stop doing? You know, just how are you going to improve your business this month? What are your thoughts? So if you want to share those in the chat, that'd be cool. And, you know, we'll discuss. But if not, that's, you know, just be thinking about that. You know, I already told you what ours were in terms of our listing. We're definitely going to do that. Is that going to impact our sales? Of course it's going to impact our sales. But it's like it's a delayed impact. It may impact the sales more near the end of the month than it will at the beginning. But Karen's already got, how many you got today?
18, 17.
She's already got about 18 done, so I gotta get to listing here before too long, so we can hit that 30, right?
Yes.
But yeah, it'll make a big difference. So Mike says list 30 a day like clockwork, get through my unlisted. Oh, that's a good goal. Keep my list inventory organized and manage my money better. Yeah, Mike, I was gonna say along those lines, part of the reason I had more profit this month but less sales was because I really watched my business spending. I really stayed frugal this month on what I spent for business, and it made a difference. So there's all kinds of ways you can improve your bottom line, guys. It's not just sales. Darren says, yeah, 6'8", 300 pounds. I wear 44-36. You're a big boy, Darren. That's good size. Walmart does carry 36-inch inseams, but you have to be a beanpole to buy those. Susanna says, I've given up sourcing ball caps. They don't sell well for me. That's smart, Susanna. I mean, if they're not working for you, why keep beating your head against the wall? You know, I think that's a good decision. If you made the decision that they're just not something that's going to be profitable or worth your time, why do it? King Flip, you can go to grad school. I have no idea what that means. I wish I could operate on less sleep. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, sleep's a good thing, King Flip. Think about it this way. Maybe if you get enough sleep, you'll be more productive when you're awake. Mike says he saw a pair of 54 by 42 Levi's Big E on eBay. Oh, gracious. Man. That's a big pair of jeans. If I source those, Karen's gonna quit. She's like, I'm not photographing those. It's just not possible.
What size does he wear?
50. Oh, he wears a 44 by 36.
I have a pair right here. It's at least 44.
Are they 36?
No, they're longer. They're as long as I am.
Let me see. They might be oh wow, they might be a 36. Hey, Darren, we have a pair of jeans for you. They're black label.
They're as tall as I am.
They're 44, and I think they're going to be a 36-inch inseam. We haven't measured it yet, but when I held it up to myself, it sure did look like that. So
that's just funny that we were talking about that.
We got a pair for you, buddy. Black label, BLAC. We'll pick them up every once in a while. We'll see if Darren likes those. I don't know if they fit you or not. See what the inseam. Well, she'll see what the inseam here is a minute. She's taking a photo. I forgot we had those. I forget after like we buy them like a day later. I'm like, whatever. Still have one lady who's got a claim in for an item not received. Tracking shows delivered. So she says her mailman doesn't remember it, but I'm going, did mailman really remember all the packages they deliver? Kind of doubt it. But so anyway, I'll probably not going to refund it. I'm thinking just because, I don't know. You know, I'm not really sure why I'm responsible for the mail, but I feel bad about it, you know, and I'll be glad to give her a discount off of something else in the store. But I think she's going to have to handle it on her end. We'll see how that goes.
You really waiting on me?
No, I was waiting. Yvonne says that's great. That's a great hat group on. There's a great hat group on Facebook, slanging lids. That's funny. Yvonne says you're covered. Yeah, I know. Like the tracking shows delivered. I sent her that. I feel bad because she's kind of homebound, I think. And I don't know. Prof shipping, LOL. Yeah, I know, right? Has anyone taken away the books yet? No, Relics, and I'll make you a really good deal on them if you want to come get them. You want to drive to North Carolina, I don't know where you're at. I have kept reducing the price on them, all the ones I didn't end up sending. And they're still selling, by the way. I still sell. I haven't gone in and looked at an update in probably a month or so, but I still sell like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 a week. I mean, they just keep selling. I got a nice reimbursement today from Amazon. And I don't know if you guys remember this. I think I talked about it in a video way back. Over the summer or back in the spring, I sourced a CPU, an Intel CPU. It was still new in the box. And this guy just had it at a yard sale. You know, I don't remember which one, like 1.8 gigahertz or whatever. Who knows? I don't remember what it was, but exact specs. Anyway, I sent an Amazon FBA and it didn't sell. You know, it's been sitting there for probably 3 months. And I sent it in and I had paid $5 for it, this yard sale. And I thought, you know, I can't really go wrong on this. Well, Amazon lost it or else damaged it. One of the two. You know, they send you that message saying, hey, this has been damaged and we're going to reimburse you. Well, they reimburse you whatever your price, I guess whatever your asking price was. So they reimbursed me $168. So I effectively sold the item and got reimbursed and didn't have to sell it. Don't have to deal with a return or anything. Don't have to have it shipped or somebody saying, hey, this doesn't work or whatever. I wish Amazon would do that with all my items. I would just send in things left and right. You know, it doesn't matter. But that was nice to wake up to. So $163 profit, I guess. Anyway.
The legs are 36 to 38. Depends on where you put the inseam.
Oh, yeah, I have tests under there. Yeah, I was trying something earlier, Darren. I wanted to see how it looked. I was going to see if I wanted to put like something extra. What'd you say with the legs?
36 to 38. It depends on what you count the inseam at. The lower number is the 36 below the zipper thing.
That right below the zipper?
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, they're more like a 38.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I think you're out of luck, Darren. The jeans are a 38-inch inseam. I think you said you need a 36, right? So a little too long. I knew they looked pretty long. So King says, when are you guys going to make a new video like pre-recorded? That's a great question. Now that Karin is back, I think we have potential to make a lot more videos that are pre-recorded, as you said. So we'll probably do one. Maybe we'll do another one with sourcing. Maybe we'll do another one with listing and shipping. So we'll see how that goes. Why is Karin working while you're socializing? I tried to get her to come on, Yvonne, but she's determined to work. So who am I to stand in the way of her working, her happiness? So Denver says, finally caught you alive. He is alive. I know, right? Mike says he's smart. Yeah. Well, Karin says I'm smart something, Mike. I don't know if there might be a word after smart. Because he's the man, obviously. Oh no, if you only knew.
Bless your heart.
Karin says, bless your heart, King. That's what we say here in the South when we're being condescending. That means we're talking down to you. See what I did there? Prof gets up and starts earlier than Karin. Nope. I wish that were true, but it's not. She's always up before me. It's like we could play a game. Like I'm trying to wake up before her and she's already up waiting. Hey, what's up? So anyway, but 26 people watching. Thanks for that, guys. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you like the video. I do appreciate that as well. Or if you're watching this later with the rebroadcast, watch that. And please hit like if you like it. Okay, so anything else for September, guys? You guys got any more comments? Are we gonna kill it this month? I think here at Prof Sales, we're going to kill it. Mike says, my grandmother used to call women a sweet petunia when she meant exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Yvonne says, I need a Karin too. Well, I'm not giving up this one, and I'm not sure there's another one. That's a valued employee. Yeah. She's giving me the grunt work, actually. This is the dumb work. Like, hey, go sit in front of a bunch of people and just talk about yourself. Where she's doing the important work that actually makes the money. King says, wait, what about the Amazon updates and eBay seller update? Yeah, I talked about that a little bit yesterday, the eBay seller update. I don't think it's going to affect me with pre-owned clothing at all. So I'm not really worried about the eBay seller update, but if you're selling new things, you need to start providing UPCs or MPNs or coming up with ID numbers. That's kind of a pain in the butt. The good thing is if you sell jeans and they're new with tags, well, you've got the UPC. So you can just look on the tag and pull off the UPC. But it's ultimately eBay is trying to be a little bit more like Amazon that way, I guess. Cut down on counterfeiting, enable people to search better. Because some people do search by UPC. And that's actually a good way to search. I mean, it's pretty much ironclad. Yvonne says, September goals equals add another 1,000 my sales. Okay, but how are you going to do that, Yvonne? How are you going to get that $1,000 extra in sales? $1,000 will be the result. But what processes will you put in place or change or take away that gets you to the $1,000 extra? That's the question. YouTube has recent updates to no cursing or controversial content. Get out of here, Darren. No, they don't. They'd have to delete like half the videos on the channel. Denver says, you inspired me. I have about 300 pair of used USA-made Levi's to list. Nice. Levi's, great. I'm not into the fancy brands, but the international buyers still like them. Yep. eBay Radio said, even those of us who sell used items have to have the numbers. That's actually not what the update says, though, Susanna. So I'm not really sure what the radio was saying there. It says that if you're selling pre-owned clothing, now there might be other used items, maybe, but clothing does not require the UPC listing. I mean, they would. I don't know how much of the. I don't know how much of the listings that are used clothing don't have UPCs, but I think it's suffice to say it's a huge number. I mean, probably in the upper 90 percentile. So. List, picking hard says, yep, that's always a good solution, man. That's always going to help. Yvonne says that's a video. Vino says, what subject matter did you teach, if you don't mind sharing? I taught American national government, international relations, political science. That was my field. Mark says, I'm running no problem selling a lot with my... Ooh, can you turn that back on?
I sure can. I wondered if that would happen.
That's okay. I'm running no problem selling a lot, but my inventory is going down. Yes, Mark, you're welcome to my world. That happens a lot. All of a sudden you'll get a peak of a pop in sales, and then your inventory starts dropping. I would just say, if that's the case, just really focus on sourcing and listing, but maybe even sourcing first until you get enough to list, and then just blanket out some listings. Seriously, you guys haven't heard of that? They're flagging people's videos on that. Wow. Okay, if that's true, that's crazy. I don't think that's going to work, but Yvonne says, right, not exactly. Some items only require 1 of the 3 qualifiers. What you're saying sounds believable, Darren. I'll look into it. Yeah, so YouTube, I mean, I don't know. It just goes back to what we're saying, guys. Everything's always changing and evolving, so we got to change and evolve with it, right? What else can we do? I mean, that's really it. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, listen, I think that's going to do it for today. I do appreciate you guys showing up later in the day. I know it's a later show, 24 people watching, so thank you for that. I love talking to you guys. I hope you guys are ready for September, because you know what? It's going to be a great month, and we're going to get some great results. We're going to get some great results here at Prof Sales World Headquarters. If that's what you call it, otherwise known as Karen's house. She's laughing in the background. But anyway, I do appreciate it, you guys. And, this challenge is going to continue. We're going to blow it up this month, and it's just going to be nuts. And I can't wait. So I will keep you guys all posted. Leave me a comment down below. Hit the like button before you leave, or if you're watching this later, do it. And as always, subscribe to me if you want to get each video as it comes out. Someone's asking me about that today. I think it just tells you when I'm live. I think you get an email on that. I hope you do. But Yvonne says Q4, baby. That's right. It is coming. So we're going to knock it out of the park here at Prof Sales, and I'm sure you guys are too. Any questions you got, leave them, and I'll do my best to answer them. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all soon. And as always, it's Prof Sales saying good sales to you.